welcome to Let's Go Retro. We have something cool for you today, showing off a little bit of collection. We have the complete Sega 32X collection. Finally finished it, finally got the last game, which was Pitfall, which was really hard to find. But this is it, this is the complete North American collection. And some are in the original cases, as you see, some are in these third-party cases. We have a loose one. I don't have a case yet. Loose Fahrenheit here. So we're not going to do a review of the games because a lot of people have done that already, and Digital Foundry, DF Retro, did a review of every single 32X game. I recommend going there, and you can learn more about each of these games. But what we're going to do for you is we're actually going to separate these into kind of categories and kind of explain which ones are good to actually collect for. Say you pick up a 32X and you are wondering which games would be good to get.
Start your own collection.
Start your own collection, yeah. Yeah, if you're a completionist, you got to get them all anyways.
Yeah.
So that's not really what this video is for. This video is kind of like which games should you get first and which ones are good at the price range. So that's what we're going to look at today. So we're going to be splitting these up and take a look. Okay, so first, we're going to look at the most expensive games for the system. The stupidly expensive Spider-Man, the very hard to find at a decent price Pitfall, and Blackthorn. So the one a lot of people are trying to get for their collection is the Spider-Man Web of Fire. It is in here.
It is real. It's not a hologram.
Yeah, it is real. It does exist. It goes for around $200 loose. Not worth it. Not worth it. So you could skip this one. Not an expensive one worth getting. Same thing with Pitfall. It's kind of a broken game. It goes for over $100. Yeah, it's got a bad frame rate. Skip that one. But Blackthorn, if you want an expensive one to kind of show off the system, this is the one we recommend getting. It's a pretty cool game. It's a really cool game. It's got a lot of attitude, and you get to shoot people with shotguns, and it's got some interesting graphics. They're updated quite a bit from the Super Nintendo version. But yeah, that would be the one we recommend getting if you're trying to get an expensive game to kind of show off the system that's worth it. That's the one to go with. It goes for about $100. That is expensive, but if you want to say, hey, I got one of the expensive ones, Blackthorn's the way to go.
Yeah, but if you want to say you got the most expensive one and don't plan on playing it,
you can play it. It's playable. It's not very good. So we're going to go to our next category right now. Alright, so maybe you don't want to go with the expensive route. It's time to go the cheap route. So,
cheap route.
Yeah, this is most of the games that are under $10. We got the NFL Club. It's an NFL game from back then, but it's the only one. So if you desperately need an NFL game
or want one,
this is the one to get because there's no other options. It's not a bad game, but it's not a game to get if you're really wanting to show off the system.
Yeah.
Virtual Racing, on the other hand, this one's really good. It's a really good port of the arcade game. Definitely recommend getting this one. It's cheap. One of the first games to come out for the system, so Virtual Racing, definitely a good. Golf. Again, it's the only golf game. Get it if you have to have a golf game.
No Tiger Woods, y'all.
It's no Tiger Woods. It's not a very good golf. It's a golf game from that era.
Yeah.
So I would say skip if you're collecting for it, but if you have to have the golf game, that's the only reason to get that one.
Yeah.
Motocross is the worst game for the system. Just skip it completely. Don't even think about it.
It's done.
Yeah. Metalhead, yes, get that one. It's kind of, I wouldn't necessarily call it a hidden gem of the system, but it's a cool mech game. You're traveling through the city. It's definitely a product of the time, but it's good and it's super cheap. So
Titanfall before Titanfall.
It's not Titanfall at all. I wish it would be Titanfall. So Metalhead, yes, it's a good one. Kind of show off the system what it was able to do back then.
Yeah.
Last one down there is the Star Wars one. So that's a tough one to say. It's the only Star Wars game on the system.
If you're a Star Wars fan,
get it. And even if not, it's okay. It's the reason I bought a 32X back in the day, like
Mhm.
originally. And the reason I got it was because this game was always at Blockbuster, and I was like, I have to play it, I have to play it. And I finally got my 32X. Then I go to Blockbuster, and
It's not there.
it's not there anymore. And I probably would have been disappointed if I did get it because it's not overly great. So that's a big if-ish one. All right, Metalhead and Virtua Racing. If you want to go with the cheaps, under $10, this is the route to
This
go.
is what you can kind of go halfway with.
All right, let's go to the next category. Okay, so now we're going to talk about the Sega CD, Sega 32X games. These, you have to have both systems, you connect them all, and basically increase the resolution of the videos. They're all full motion video games, and they're all pretty bad. They're not good. The only one even worth considering to get is Night Trap, just because of the history of it, and it's kind of an interesting game. The rest just skip. They're not worth it. Although Night Trap is expensive, it goes for about $50, and it keeps going up because of the history of the game. But that's the only one to even consider getting of these. The rest are not good. All right, let's go to the next category. All right, so now we got the Super Scalar games from Sega. Afterburner and Space Harrier, both are kind of pricey. Afterburner goes for about $28, Space Harrier about $35, and it's hard to say. I would say Afterburner would be the one to get if you have to choose one.
Yeah.
Just because Space Harrier is a little bit more pricey. Again, it's one of those things. If you just love Space Harrier, get Space Harrier. I saw Afterburner a whole lot more than I saw Space Harrier in the arcades.
Yeah.
We'll go to the next category. All right, now we're moving on to fighting games, and there's quite a few, and there's even a boxing game, but we'll show that one later.
Yeah.
So let's just go down the line. Mortal Kombat 2, it goes for about $25, so it's a little pricey, and it's a good version of it.
Yeah.
Go for it if you want your Mortal Kombat fix, although the only thing is, like, you can get the Genesis version and the Super Nintendo version for a lot cheaper. So if you have those versions, it's not like that big of an upgrade.
Unless you, like you said, want to do the whole collection.
Yeah, if you want all of them, get it. But it's a decent one. It's well done. It's not bad. So yeah, we kind of recommend that one.
Mm-hmm.
Brutal Above the Claw. No, this one's $22. It's pretty pricey, and it sucks. So just skip that one completely. Primal Rage. That's actually one of the most expensive fighters. It goes for about $35. Remember, that's all loose. That's not with the boxes and everything.
Yeah.
That's loose cart. It's not as good as Mortal Kombat, and it's more expensive. And you can get the Genesis and Super Nintendo versions for like $5.
Cheaper.
So
Go to the cheap category.
get those versions. Don't get the 32X version. It's not that much better. What do we have? What is this?
This one
Oh,
is
Cosmic.
the Cosmic.
Yeah, that was a game built just for the 32X. So it was built to kind of show it off, and you could do all this kind of neat stuff, but it's a terrible game. So
It wasn't put together correctly.
yeah, it's just not a good fighting game. Skip it, although it is cheaper, and it does kind of show off what the system could do.
Yeah.
It's not good. And Virtua Fighter's good. It's a good port of it. That's probably the highest ranked one, we would say, and
Yeah, but I'm just not a fan of the graphics of this one. Like the way they have it
Yeah.
drawn out.
the old the very blocky people.
Very block.
That's that's how it was back then.
Mm-hmm.
But it plays the best, and it works the best, and it's a neat that they were able to do that on the 32X.
Yeah.
So that would be the highest one. Mortal Kombat next. The rest skip. All right. So that's fighting games. Let's go to the next category. All right. Now we're going to wrestling games, and the thing is, the truth is, neither one's worth it. If you have to get one, get the arcade one. It's the better game,
Yeah.
but it is expensive. It goes for about $47, so it's not worth it. You can get the Genesis and the Super Nintendo version. Super cheap, like under $10. Get those versions, but if you have to get one, that is the better one. Raw's not that great, so this one's kind of easy. Skip both unless you have to have one, and try to find the arcade game.
Yeah.
But good luck trying to get that cheap because it keeps going up in price. All right, so that category was easy. Let's move on to the next one. All right, moving on to sports. We have 2 baseball games.
Yeah.
Neither one's great, so again, skip them. But if you have to get one, get RBI because World Series goes for
$85.
about $85.
$85.
And that's actually come down in price. It used to go over $100 not that long ago.
Yeah.
It's expensive. It's definitely not worth it. So if you have to get one RBI, it's pretty cheap. But skip both of them. They're not really worth it compared to, again, the Genesis and Super Nintendo versions. NBA Jam Tournament Edition. Definitely recommend this one. This is a good one. We played around with it, and it's definitely different than the Super Nintendo. And
It sure is.
It looks like the arcade version.
Yep.
It runs really good, so I highly recommend you get that one. If you can find it, get the NBA Jam Tournament Edition. It's good.
Yeah, that one goes for $27. There's gonna be around that price.
Yeah, it's a little high, especially compared to the other ones, but it's definitely worth it. You see a difference it being on the 32X.
Yeah.
This one, Tough Man.
The
Yeah.
Butterbean.
Yeah, skip.
Yeah.
It's not that great.
I didn't like, and then also the way that you're fighting, you see through your character.
Yeah, it's like the
Yeah.
outline. It's not that great.
Nope.
You can skip it. It doesn't show off any special abilities of the system. Not very well. So skip that one. It does have Butterbean on it.
Yeah.
And it is cheap usually. So
If you just need it for your collection or
yeah,
just want to have it.
yeah. But to show it off kind of thing, it's not worth it. All right, so that's sports. Let's move on to another category. Okay, so moving on, we have basically a category of under $25 games, so you can still get these relatively cheap. You can find them. Zaxxon Mother Base 2000. It's kind of a neat game. Yeah, I would recommend it. It's a unique game for the system. If you can find it, go out and get it. Shadow Squadron. Yes, for sure. This one's really cool. It's a space shooter, and it's really good. And it's probably one of the best games for the system that shows off that the system could actually do something with these games more powerful than the regular systems. So I mean, if you compare it to like Star Fox, it's really impressive. Doom, again, yes, Doom. Doom's great, and you can actually get that one really cheap. You can get it close to $10 under it, but it wasn't quite. What was it, about $12?
For Doom, yeah, $12 for Doom.
Yeah, it goes for about $12. That's why we couldn't put in the under 10, but it's a good version. Again, it's neat to be able to play Doom on your Sega Genesis.
Yeah.
BC Racers, complete garbage. Skip it. Don't even think about it. Star Trek.
Just gotta challenge your skills.
Yeah, it's an interesting game. It doesn't.
So it's just a bridge simulator.
Yeah. This bridge simulator, you pick all the different characters. There's different characters you do it. There's a Super Nintendo version for under $10. Get that one. This one goes for about $25.
Yeah, 25. Yeah.
But definitely Shadow Squadron, I would say, is the best of these. Doom's a good version of it. I just think I think the sound effects or something's not very good in there. And the Zaxxon's pretty neat. These other two, you could definitely skip BC Racers and Star Trek. So it's an iffish one.
Yeah.
All right. We got one more category for you.
One more.
Let's get to it. All right, so we have the rest is what we're calling these. These are the expensive ones, but not insanely expensive.
Not
yet.
gonna break the bank.
But these are one that are going up in price pretty quickly. T-Mech, it's a tank, futuristic tank game. Now I would say skip. It's not really worth it, especially at that price. It doesn't show off the system that well.
So about $43 for that one.
Yeah. Knuckles Chaotic, this is one that keeps going up in price because it's the only Sonic-related game for the system.
Yep.
It is pretty neat, and I would recommend it now, but it's going up. It's about $65 now, and it just keeps climbing. And so jump on it as soon as you can. If you can get it under that, go for it.
If you really need it or want it.
Yeah, and it's definitely one that shows off the system.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of what we've been trying to explain. Which ones show off the systems that are worth it. That one does, but it's getting up there. It's getting close. And just like a Colibri here, Colibri, however you say it, it's a really good game. It's a shooter. You're a hummingbird.
Yeah.
It's a weird concept, but it's probably one of the best games of the system. But it's up to about $80. So it's making it harder to I mean, it's hard to recommend that at $80, but it is really good. It's one of the best original games for the system. So you kind of have to bite the bullet and get that one to show off. Tempo was another one, a platformer for the system. It's going for about $45 or so. Skip that one. It's not very good.
It looks horrible.
Yeah, it's not. Well, yeah, it looks horrible. I would say that it plays okay. It's a decent platformer for the time, but there's better games and.
So $44, may not be worth it.
44 is yeah. If it was like $20, I'd say probably go for it. It does have some neat effects in it, but not worth it. Alright, so to finish up our little Sega 32X overview thing here, I got kind of like the top 10 games to get if you were going to start collecting for it. Plus a bonus, Night Trap. It's not really that great, but it's a neat one to have to kind of show off a collection. So we got with the expensive one, Blackthorn. Definitely look at it. It's good, even though it's expensive. It's one that kind of shows off the system. Doom. Everyone loves Doom.
Yeah, you got to.
How many times did you play Doom?
Probably wore it out. The movie, no, I didn't care for the movie, but
yeah. And that one, it's a good version of it, and it's cheap.
Yeah,
that's the main thing. Virtua Fighter, again, cheap, good version of it. Same thing with Virtua Racing. Did throw Colibri up there, even though it's getting expensive. It's still a neat one to show off the system.
Yeah.
Same thing with Knuckles. The NBA Jam, we highly recommend it. It's a neat one.
It is fun to play.
Yeah, it's a good version. Afterburner, so that's probably the better of the super scalers to get. It's just, to me, it's more fun than Space Harrier.
Yeah.
Shadow Squadron, real neat game. Metalhead, again, kind of these hidden games for the systems.
So those are the top 10 that we chose.
Yeah, if you wanted to start a collection, get these 10. That will really show off the system and its potential that it had, but ultimately it failed.
Yeah.
And then Night Trap.
Night Trap.
Yeah, if you got the Sega CD and you want to get one of those, Night Trap's the one to get.
Yeah.
All right, so there we go. We have for you our Sega 32X overview.
Enjoy trying to find them.
Yeah, good luck. So like I said, somewhere easy, you'll be able to find Virtua Fighter and Virtua Racing and Doom pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Blackthorn's going to take you some time.
Spider-Man
will take you a lot of time.
That World Series one?
Actually, like, Spider-Man doesn't take you a lot of time. It's just out there. But are you
going to pay for it?
You can spend that money to get it. Which one did you ask about?
The World Series.
The baseball one, yeah, it's out there. Like I said, it's actually come down in price. From when I first started, it was going well over $100. It's gone down about $15. So it's weird. Some games have gone down, some have gone up. Even the Blackthorn, it was about $130 when I first started looking for it. It came down to about $100 now. So they do fluctuate. So yeah, there we go. Recommended games. Good luck if you want to start a 32X collection. If not, just get one of your emulators and play them off of that.
Yep.
But it's definitely a unique system. Didn't get the love that it deserved. But these
Until
would be,
now.
Yeah, these would be the games that would be able to show you the most love that it did get.
Yeah.
All right, that's what we have for you today, and we'll see you next time.
Right.